Hey everybody, welcome back to another iiRcade Gamedaze Live. I'm your host, Michael, executive producer here at iiRcade. Got a lot of talk to you about today. I'm actually going to switch my camera quick. Wow, I'm so ill-prepared. This is super fun. Let's switch to that. There we go. That's a little better. We get some better quality out of this guy instead. All right, cool. Now that we're good and I'm sort of set, except for not too early start time, good times, right? Happy Friday. So I hope you're all tuning in. Of course, if you haven't yet, go ahead and power cycle your system, update to 9.009000. That system update is going to start to enable a couple of new features, right? As some of you have noticed, and clearly in the title today, right? As we said, it's April 15th, online play, right? So again, this is going to be the initial alpha release of this. So this isn't even beta yet. So remember that, keep that in mind. There's going to be plenty of bugs. I already know of a couple already too. We'll go over that a little bit later. But generally speaking, it's working good. It's working good right now. So you're going to have a couple bumps along the road, of course, but we're going to do some consistent updates coming to you probably in like about a 2-week cadence or so. And again, we'll go over a little bit. We'll go over this in just a little bit too. I can't even talk today. I'm so sorry. Coming off Expo weekends and everything, you know, it's very busy around here. Plus, of course, gold cabinet releases. Of course, launches never go smoothly while I'm not here, but, you know, because I was out of town at the same time we launched gold. So we got gold releases last week. We got online play this week. Of course, we might have some other things coming up in the next, you know, maybe next week, maybe the week after, maybe both, maybe some other things too, right? So keep tuning in every single Friday. We'll be here, and we'll be announcing some more things very, very soon. So don't you worry about that. All right. Let's get things started right now. So we'll get into gameplay in just a little bit here too. Couple housekeeping things to address, right? We haven't actually locked nicknames yet, so keep that in mind, but that is still coming very, very soon, likely Monday at this point. We sort of did some other changes on the back end that we needed to fix before we could actually remove nickname right now. So that's coming. However, the leaderboards are actually filtering by nickname currently, which is kind of cool. Leaderboards are switched to that, as well as online play is going to use your nickname. So you'll have a player 1 and player 2 that I'll show you in just a bit here. That's actually going to utilize your nickname on the store, right? So that is like our gamer tag for iiRcade. So do keep that in mind. So make sure your nickname is set. They're good for life, because after that, it's not going to be fun for me to change it, right? I'm not going to be changing them all the time. So that's going to be a special request right now. Yeah. That's pretty much how that goes too. Maybe a paid service eventually, who knows, right? I have no idea, honestly, right now. Right now, it's just going to be on an asking basis, but I'm not going to change your nickname every day. It's just not happening. I'll change it once, and that's all you get. Everybody gets one. How about that? We'll do the old Spider-Man, everybody gets one. Other things, let's see. So with gold, I keep getting questions. So if you got questions right now on the differences for gold, you see right behind me here too. Yeah, this is actually still my prototype cabinet, which is fun. However, they look the same as the ones that are releasing right now for pre-order, that are available right now on the website. So iiRcade.com. All of our gold skins, the Dragon's Lair, Space Ace, Dead Cells, and Black Edition, right, are all still coming at you right now. But if you have questions on those, put them in the chat right now. Let me see. I can take care of those. We'll get to that real quick first before we move on to gameplay. All right. Let me see here. Question. Oh, actually, here's a good one too with this firmware update. Shoeshine, thank you for asking. So the auto fire option doesn't seem to be working yet. Was it intended to be functioning and this is a bug, or is it piecemeal rolling out deal? Yes. So you might notice in settings we have accessibility options now, right? It's not just a rapid fire option. There's going to be more coming to you pretty soon, actually, later on this year. So different options might include, actually, we'll go over that when they come, right? So I don't even want to talk about this right now. However, there will be more accessibility options. This is just one of them, right? So people with arthritis or just, you know, other issues that we don't even need to get into, right? That just can't spam buttons like I can in Truxton and things like that, right? They can't rapid fire. So because of that, we added a rapid fire button. So yes, this is currently in, it's functional. However, you won't see any games with this just quite yet. I'll actually be getting these to you more so this upcoming week. So it does require a per game and check. So, and I'll let you know which games they are too. We'll actually label them potentially on the store as well. But for now, they'll be labeled on the instruction screen. So in the instruction screen, right under the names, you'll see the name, the developer, or the publisher, as well as you'll see, you know, 1-player, 2-player, leaderboards online, that kind of stuff. This will actually say accessibility on there. So if it says accessibility, then there is an accessibility option within that game. So if you have it turned on in the settings menu, this will trigger that to activate, essentially, right? There is a small bug in with that right now too. I know it says that it's checked on by default. It's not actually. It does actually turn on and off. So even though that is visually confusing, I know. So last minute updates, this is kind of what happens, unfortunately. But it does work when you turn it on and off. However, yes, currently there's no games for that. With this, I do have to be very wary with leaderboards and other things like that too. So I can't give people advantage or disadvantage. And this is essentially going to work only with games that you need to press essentially one button over and over again. However, those games, if they have a hold mechanic on those buttons, can't enable it for those because that hinders the game itself, right? So Truxton, sure. Truxton actually has that blue laser beam that you pick up. You have to press and hold A to use it. We can't enable that for Truxton. So Truxton's still going to be a very, very highly competitive game at a very high skill level too, of course. But other games, we'll be getting this out to as many games as possible that can actually utilize this feature. So it's not very difficult for us to do with the way that we did our software, which is great. Now that it's in there, it's super easy for me to do. It just requires a game update. And I'll get you a list next week when I actually start activating these games. But yes, so that is coming very, very soon next week. Cool. Other questions? Let's see. Again, let's go back to gold questions real quick too. I can talk about that too. I know people were asking me about differences and things like that. I can answer those now. I got full details on everything. Let's see here. I look at that, the chat. I just showed up. Did I miss anything? Not really. Just talking about accessibility options that are in the menu right now too. Definitely, again, power cycle those machines if you haven't already to start updating. It's a 2 gig update. It takes a little while sometimes for some of you. All right, so that covers auto fire. Going down the chat here. Will Gold Cab use the same glass? Yes, Papa Bread. Gold Cab is the exact same screen size, right? So it's a 19-inch monitor, and the way that the cabs are form fit, yes, this does use the exact same glass. I think I've actually got glass on this one behind me. But yes, so it is. So if you do order or have an iiRcade glass, those fit these exact machines, yes. They actually fit a little more snug too, so they don't really fall down often, which is good. You know, when you change the control deck out, they might, when you're putting it in, it doesn't really happen anymore. You got to kind of wedge it up in there too. It fits perfectly. It really is what it is. But yes, so the glass is the exact same size. It's the same bezel. Other questions on gold that I can answer? Sure. Generic branded question here. There's actually still potentially some other features while we are manufacturing them right now that are getting changed, which is great. So there's actually some things that we might be announcing soon. We'll find out on that. I'll let you know when I know. However, the big differences in the gold cabs right now would be one, of course, the flip marquee. You can obviously see that right away too. The bat tops on here too. The bat tops that come with these as well too. There's still SandWall clone underneath, so SandWall items will fit if you ever do want to change out the controls. And of course, with these bat tops too, we're actually putting in 8-way octagonal gates underneath, so that's not visible to you. So yes, there are 8-way octagonal gates by stock in these cabinets. So let marquee that. JBL, sound by JBL, of course. Harman Audio EFX is what you're looking for the software in there. So what this means is that, yes, these are the exact same speaker hardware because our speakers are totally fine. There's nothing wrong with them. Harman even agreed with us, which I'm glad about. However, these have that JBL branding, right? This is a certified tier that they have for their audio. Basically what it sounds like, best way to describe it, it's hard until you hear it, right? Until you hear them one-to-one next to each other. But if your cabinet sounds like basically a TV audio, if you will, this one sounds like an IMAX theater. That's kind of really the big difference. That's the best way that I can think to describe it to you. There's zero things wrong with your current audio setup on these standard editions. 100%. Nobody really complained about it, which is great. Yeah, so those are quality parts in there already too. So it's up to you if you are an audiophile. However, yes, this makes a huge difference, by the way, too. Again, it's hard to describe. You really just have to hear it side by side. But yeah, that software solution is going into these cabinets, and it really changes it to sound like an IMAX quality. Super deep bass, huge range of audio, too. Again, it's hard to describe. You just kind of have to hear it. So yes, that's a big upgrade. That's one of the big upgrades. On top of that, the board, of course, is now moved. The board is no longer in the control deck. The board is up here right behind the monitor at the back. There's actually not a recess in there. It's actually mounted up there right on with the at the top of the monitor. Gosh, I can't talk today. I can't think. So, and it's in a metal shell protective casing, which also acts as a heat sink. So it's good news. It's great. It saves us some money too, which is fantastic. Keeping these parts costs as low as possible for you all. However, this board is technically speaking a different board. So on top of the changes a little bit here for the audio. We actually added a different audio path essentially for that board. So it is slightly different in that manner. That does take some tooling. But of course, this is a 2-in-1 board now. So as is in the current edition standard cabs, there's a board down here, which is your main board. That's the meat, the brains of the operation. And then up here, up top behind the speakers, sorry, I'm trying to reach behind me. That's actually where your audio amp board is. So they're split right now. Those are actually combined into one board on our new gold editions, right? So the gold boards are different boards, technically speaking. Spec-wise, yes, the CPU, the GPU, your VRAM and everything like that, that's identical. The audio path is different. There is changes to that specifically. So yes, that is different entirely. That comes along with, changing for harmony and things like that, of course, and just, overall upgrades. However, as far as the actual system specs go, no, this is not a different processor. This is not a different, the VRAM is the same, the GPU is the same. So yes, in that regard, it is the same. However, yes, this is a different board. And there's great reasons for that too. It helps with that hissing that people were hearing early on, especially with the speakers, that we fixed with software, as well as some hardware things too over time, which is great. But yeah, so this alleviates all of that, which is great. It's fantastic. It also helps protect the top of the monitor better too. If you notice, there's a motherboard actually right at the top of the monitor that's covered in a black strip. That's actually covered by metal now, which is cool. So even more protected. On top of that, people do actually spill on these things because people like to put drinks on them. I don't know why people put drinks directly on top of their arcade machines. Bad. Don't do that. I do not suggest it. You're paying a good price for these things, of course, right? We keep them as low as possible, but we know the cost of these things to you. Of course we do. Don't put drinks on top of it, right? Don't spill. Get a couple or get a table next to it. Just saying, because yes, more often than you'd think, we do get people coming into the customer service team saying, hey, I spilled on top of my board. What can I do? And the only option is to buy a new board. You don't have to buy a home machine, but we don't have a lot of parts that are extra, of course, but we do allow people to purchase them in these special cases, of course, right? We're not trying to leave you high and dry. If we have the extra parts, totally gonna get them to you. But of course, they do cost. That's not covered by warranty. You spilling on a machine is not covered by warranty. So let me be very clear on that. So don't place drinks on top of your nice machines. I don't know what else to tell you. Otherwise, hardware changes, Ethernet port, of course. Let me get my nice little picture out here. My God, like Ethernet cable. So yes, Ethernet cable is, I shouldn't say included. There's no Ethernet cable included, but there is an Ethernet port on the back of the new boards, so that is an option too. And of course, with online play today, right? Ethernet's kind of an important thing that we thought for these cabs going forward, so we did that to future-proof them. Yeah, so some of you do struggle with connection with the Wi-Fi 5 chip inside too. You just have bad connection around the house, or you're just in a bad area, honestly, for cellular towers as well as Wi-Fi towers for bouncing signals from satellites into space, right? So remember, it's Wi-Fi, so these are going to a router. These are going all over the place, not globally, but in space a lot of times, right? So because of that connection, it's just a faster connection if you plug in the Ethernet port. It's always going to be faster if you hardline in. That's just how it goes. So there you go. So Ethernet port's there. And again, stay tuned in the upcoming weeks too. Maybe next week, maybe the week after too. We might actually feature some additional information that you might not quite know yet. So that I might also not quite know yet, which is awesome. But yes, those are the main differences for these that I can talk about right now too, of course. But yeah, some big changes. But of course, they are still right now at the same price as the standard editions are too, right? We released at $7.99 with the standard editions, and this is actually the exact same price as that right now. So good on you. Other things here. All right, so I mean, that's pretty much the gold caps. Let me see. Questions I missed. Will there be a special edition of the cabinets? So we've revealed those 4 cabinets. Will there be other ones later on this year? Anything's possible? We'll see. I'll let you know when we know, and we can release that information. For now, it's going to be Dead Cells, Dragon's Lair, Black Edition, which is the Double Dragon, as well as, wow, I can't even think today. Dead Cells. There we go. Right? Dead Cells, Space Invaders, Dragon's Lair, Black Edition. There we go. All 4 coming at you. Yeah, we don't plan on releasing a new. We're not going to drop a new skin on you right now. So yes, these are your 4 options. This is it for now too. And again, the Black Edition does come naked. So if you want to skin it your own, there are third-party options to do that. You're totally welcome to do it. They come naked for that exact reason. It's a sort of do-it-yourself for the actual decal art on the sides too. You can always replace the marquee, very easy. Actually, they're not super costly. If you do want to get a custom, you're more than welcome to do that yourself. Black edition is the way to go for that. If you're going to plan on doing that, skin it however you want. Make it fit your home. So, okay. When is the Space Invaders cab being released? See that too. With the rest of them, they're all planned to get here likely July. So they are on pre-order, of course, right now too. Early bird special until May 8th. They're $200 off right now until May 8th. So that's Sunday, May 8th at 11:59 p.m. on May 8th CST. So there you go. That's the official end date of that sale for the early bird for the first 30 days. But yeah, Space Invaders is they're all coming together. All 4 of them are being manufactured. So. Okay, any other questions I can get to? We'll jump to online here, cruise through. All right, I'm actually going to skip down because I have no idea where I'm at in the chat anymore. So I see the same question with Jason now too. Yes, all 4 of the gold cabinets are releasing at the same time. Yeah, they're all on the same ships, essentially. Yep. It's a great one too that I get asked all the time too. The Fist of Love. So opening current gen machine control panel still voids the warranty. Yes, 100%. The problem is that board is down there and we keep it under warranty so that you don't rip it open, because if you expose a motherboard, that is literally our main meat of the machine, right? That's the brain of it. I can't have people touching that basically too. It doesn't really matter who you are. So that's why that's there. It's just like you can't open up the back of a switch and stuff. That voids your warranty on that too. It's the exact same thing. You expose the motherboard. We don't know what elements it's been exposed to. We can't at that point do any sort of analytics on it. We can't tell you what's wrong with it. We don't know because we don't know what you did to it essentially too. Even if you don't know what you did to it, you might have accidentally done something. You might have touched a screwdriver to 2 connector points and shorted it out. That happens. Sometimes dust will get in there, right? So this protects it from dust and everything else too, which is great. That's why we do it that way. So I don't know that you kept it open for a day or two and it collected dust and then you turn it on and then all of a sudden you got static electricity build up and it's done. So that's why the warranty is down there in the current generation of them too. And of course, no longer in the gold editions. Yes. Again, this just comes with a year's worth of learning on sales and stuff on these cabs, right? We've learned, to move things around. So again, it's just another iteration of the cabinet. That's really what this is for the gold editions. So adds some nice new features for you. They're always going to keep improving over time. Don't let that deter you if you're looking to pick one up. We're trying to future-proof as much as possible. We're not trying to make you buy a new cab, every time we release one. But if you do want to, totally fine. We are going to keep improving them with every iteration. Of course we are. That's how it works. So there you go on that one. All right. All right, I'm going to skip a lot of these questions for now. I think I've answered pretty much everything, which is great too. I'm going to skip all the way to the bottom and see if there's any pressing questions on gold still right now, specifically gold cabinets. Okay. Can I explain the subwoofer output on the gold cabinets? Soon. We'll actually talk about that more probably next week. Honestly, I'll get a little bit deeper into some hardware, some cool different hardware stuff on that. We also have to get that tuned as well, of course, with Harman for JBL sound. So that's sort of a part of it, right? Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to online play. It's what everybody's waiting on, right? So that's what everybody came for today. Hardware is done. Let's go on to software, right? So with software, let's see. Wow, now I'm just thinking gold edition in my head, right? So online play, right? This is the alpha release. I want to be very, very diligent that you know this, right? So it says it everywhere on everything when you launch and stuff too. This is an alpha release. This is not even a beta release, okay? There's a big difference here. This is bottom level of our software, right? It only gets better from here, so keep that in mind. There's going to be issues. There's going to be bugs. We know. We're working on them. Yeah, my general goal is to make sure that online gameplay is working at a very base level so it has good bones for all these games, because we've got a lot of different titles that work very, very differently too. Again, there's reasons that other companies might pick to make some games online and others not. Us doing all of our classic arcade games online, it's a big feat. So it's going to take us a little while. Again, we're pushing throughout the year. There's going to be a lot of changes, a lot of iterations, of course, too. UI is going to change. The way that you interact with this for the user experience is going to change. Guarantee it. It's clearly at a base level right now. So there you go on that. So let me show you off here. So let me actually pull this guy up. All right, so full screen this. You can see my screen right here. So I'll get to questions at the end here too, because I can't actually see my screen really too well at the same time that I'm talking about this. So let's first scroll over here. So you'll notice, mute this right now. You'll notice today there's one, yes, of course, the accessibility option too. But again, those games will be enabled next week for accessibility. But however, it's there in the software, which is great. So I don't have to push another update to do that next week. However, if you scroll down here, you'll notice there's now an online game check. So for now, these games are actually not going to enable themselves automatically when you download them from the store. That will be in the next update for this. So the next system update will include that so that they just automatically go from the store, along with a few other features that we'll talk about in just a second here. So when I press this button, basically whatever games are enabled online will appear with a tag next to them that says, right, there you go. You see Windjammers right there, online play. See Stadium Heroes online play. Some others too. So let's actually jump into Dragon Master. So if I press Dragon Master right now too, you can see I have local or online. So local is just going to take you to the current version that's on the machine right now. No harm, no foul. It's going to play just like normal for you. It's 0 changes. You go to online, however, you'll notice it's going to connect me to a server. So I can do instant play if I want to, or I can create a room currently. Right now, there is no room lock function. That will come in the next build. So keep that in mind as you test this in the very, very first alpha state. There is no room locking. So that will come in the next build. That's definitely a feature we want, of course, 100%. But do keep that in mind right now, too. If you're creating rooms, make sure that your buddies know, jump on like right away. So if I create a room, I'm going to have an option. Of course, I can go server, which is our default, or I can go P2P. If I want to host it myself, let's go server for now. So I've got my room open here. I'm waiting for my opponent. So, and that's actually, there we go. So that's my QA. Hopefully, I have no idea, honestly. Normally, it will say the other player's nickname. Small bug right there. We know it exists. However, we wanted to get this out to you so you could get there. So let me actually put this up a little bit. Taking off. Turn this down. So if I enter some coins here, we got some credits. Player 1 start is going to be how you do this. So P1 is going to be the controls for both players. So you're actually going to use the left joystick as well as the left buttons for this. Let's play as old man Gamedaze here. Just going like this. I see. Let me bring up this comment here. I see him. Yes, Jeff, there's Ethernet input on the gold edition cabinets. The new cabinets do have an Ethernet port. 100%. Oh gosh, I'm getting my butt kicked already. It's up a little bit. And just like that, I got my butt beat. So let's go. We'll go round 2. Of course, Dragon Master is selected for this first round right now because it's a packing game, right? You've all got this game too. I'll put this fighter in there for you. So that everybody has at least one game that they can totally test online if they want. Not to lie, I forget my special moves right now in this game, but I'm trying my best. As you can see, not a lot of frame tearing or anything like that too, so it's working right out the box. That's what we wanted. We'll actually move on to the next game right now too. So Dragon Master is going to be coming at you for online play. And actually, as we go here, why don't I do this? So let's go back here, back out of this. So as I'm going through these games, I will actually update them on the server for online play. So Dragon Master is officially online for you all. So there you go. Sorry, let me get over here to my next game. So let's jump into our next release title for online play today, Magical Drop. So don't sleep on Magical Drop, by the way, too. This game is so challenging in Versus especially. I usually get my butt kicked, which is great. Yes, so if you hit enable online play right now, it will. Make sure that, 1, your machine is connected. 2, make sure that these games are installed from the store. Online play. So I will create a room too. And let's actually go, how about we go P2P this time instead of server? How about that? There you go. So I'll wait around. Magical drop 3. Let's see if my QA team is around and active at the moment. There we go. So again, small bug right there too. iiRcade production. That's actually my nickname on this account. Normally it would show both players. It shows that to the host right now. Small hiccup. There we go. Some credits in already. I can see player 2 is spamming my credits right now too. Let's go challenge mode. They'll be able to challenge me when I actually get out of this because I accidentally hit CPU. But don't you worry, once I get the gameplay, there we go. So now they're jumping in. So again, last one was on the server. This one's on P2P. However, those options are available for every single game. I'm going to actually play as... Let's go Chariot on this one. You know how that volume is, if it's too loud or not.
Ready?
There you go. And that's drop 3. If you haven't played it too, you can pull down multiple bees at the same time, and then you mash them all together. You do combos and things like that. It's a fantastic game. Super fast paced as well too, which is great. That's why we're using it for online testing. It's also in the top 30 on the sales list, so that's also something that factored in here. No, can't let that happen. Oh no. Terrible at this game. I'm about to lose in real time. Oh, here we go. There we go. And just like that, I'm back in it. Ooh, we timed out. All right. Anyhow, there you go. So that's magical drop right there. So let me back out of this menu again. And enable this for you. So Magical Drop 3 is now also enabled for online play. Let's get to our next title, as you can see in my list. Outzone. All right, so Outzone, online play. Let's go server-based this time. So hold on to your questions too. I'll get to the questions at the end. It's just a little bit hard when I'm coordinating everything. Hey, there you go. You can actually see the name that time. That's good. But yes, I will answer all questions at the end of this. So just hang on to them for now. Chat amongst yourselves. All right, here we go. I can see player 2 already spamming me with coins. Great start of the game. Pass 2. There we go. So Outzone is definitely a favorite of the iiRcade Zone show later on tonight. These guys play this all the time. Which is great, because this is a fantastic game. Again, it's another crazy awesome toe-flying shooter that's been around since pretty much the release of the system, which is awesome. Pick up that energy, make sure I'm not running out. This game does actually have a built-in auto fire and other features. You switch these weapons all the time too. There we go, just change my weapon there too. My player 2 died, I died. Let's actually strobe you guys for a second. There you go, the bombs, they'll flash you real quick. So this is absolutely a game that I picked because, one, again, it's in those top 30 kind of things. However, This is just super fun to play with a buddy, right? This game is a totally different experience when you're doing solo versus when you're playing with somebody else. Oh no. Yeah, there we go. Cool. There we go. Let's actually head on out of that one too. Let me enable out zone for you all right now. All right, out zone is also now enabled for online play. Let's get to the next title. So Stadium Heroes 96. Of course, baseball season has started. I'm not going to leave you high and dry without a baseball game. Let's create that room. Let's go P2P this time. We'll keep on switching it. There we go. All right. Yeah, baseball season started. I definitely wanted to throw in a sports title for you. All right, if my player 2's listening, go ahead and enter credits on your side. Let me see where they're at over there. Here we go.
New player.
All right, there we go. Now they're joined in. So there's a little bit of a delay between the actual stream that they're hearing and me. I will play as the Canadian Glaciers always. I love the Glaciers in this game.
I'll do my best.
Let's play as Mustache McGee here. S. O'Neill playing the outside stadium.
Play ball. The game is underway.
So player 2's pitching right now. I'm actually up to bat and clearly forgot that I have to swing with the B button here. Or C is actually your bunt button.
Right.
Wow, batter out already. Off to a great start. There we go. Stay at first.
And it's back to home.
So it's fun if you haven't played this game too. If you're in the outfield, at least, you actually control, and actually batting as well too. You control your players by using the up, down, left, right direction to go to the base. So you actually do have full control over your entire team. Which is really fun.
And it's back to home.
You can also steal bases, things like that.
Right.
Oh, no, swing and a miss. Let's see one more go. There we go. All right, just like that, the next inning. So there's Stadium Hero 96, just in time for baseball season, online enabled, coming at you right now. So that's another title officially enabled for online right now in the store. And last but not least, giving you 5 games, just like I promised today. Let's go with good old Windjammers, of course, here. Fast action play. Love this game. Let's go server based on this one. I'm going to create my own room. It's actually my CS team in that room right now, it looks like. There we go. All right. Hope the volume is good for everybody right now, too, for this online play. All right, 1 second here. Let me actually reboot this room. You know, super riveting, just waiting, watching for that opponent, right? There we go. Of course, Steps Gaming. Of course, I'm going to release Windjammers. I told you guys Windjammers was launching on release. right, looks like my QA team is actually having a little bit of difficulty in there. It's okay. However, this game is actually online currently right now in store. So if you do sync up and you jump in, I won't be mad. Because I definitely want to show you Windjammers because I love this game so much. Oh, Casey's ducking P-dubs. It sounds like on Magical Drop. I see how it is. All right, so he jumps into my room instead. So right now, I'm waiting on my opponent to jump in. We do have messaging coming in, so that's the other thing that is going to be in the next update. All right, I have no idea where Casey's at right now, too. Let's jump back out. One more time, I will try this. Where's my QA team at right now? My room is up. Sounds like they might have created a new server. Okay, or not. I will create a server. There we go. Nope. I will jump into your server. Hope that room's still up. Sounds like when you have 10 machines running on the exact same connections, or lots of different connections, honestly, in here too, you get a little bit of issues sometimes, right? There we go. So Windjammers is going. Like I'm waiting on my opponent. Go ahead, my QA team is listening right now. Go ahead and put in some credits so I know that you're alive. There we go. I see you now. All right. Looks like they hit the CPU, though, instead of 2 players. So I'll have to jump in when the game actually starts here. You can see at the top right, P2 wait.
Round 1.
Okay, here we go. A new challenger approaches. There we go. Just a moment. So I'm logging in now. So now I'm in here. So I'm actually 2-player in this game right now, too. They're hosting me. They took my favorite character, S. Miller. It's cool. We'll play as, let's go with Yagi. There we go. So I can select this. They can select this. Work together in tandem. Jump on Discord probably to talk to your buddies at the same time. Again, communicate with each other. Good times. So I'm actually on the right here. That's me and Yagi. Oh no, I'm losing already, of course. Try to talk at the same time and play. So you can actually control those specials in this game, by the way, if you didn't know. Oh no. With a joystick, before you press A, you can actually control if you do the spiral, up, down, left, right. There's a bunch of different moves that you can actually do. All right, I may have lost in the first round, but let's see if I can get it in the second set. So again, yeah, as you can see this time, no difference between host and client, going just fine. So I have been hosting the whole time so far, but this one I'm actually the client right now. And this one is server-based, I believe. I couldn't see. I got demolished. They used my favorite character. I'll use that as an excuse. But there you go. So let me jump back in here. See, Super Climber's already in there. Awesome. All right. I'll actually remove this from my stream. Perfect. Welcome back to my ugly mug. Let me sit on down here. Yes. So online play is here. So if you didn't know, all those games won are at the top of the store right now, in case you don't have any of them. However, one of them you definitely all have, because it's a pack-in game, Dragon Master. So Dragon Master is one of them. Windjammers is the next. Data East Baseball, which is Stadium Hero 96, would be the third title. You've also got Outzone, which is fantastic, by the way. If you've never played Outzone, get on Outzone. It's amazing. Tons of leaderboard competition for that game, too, even with online play. So that, and then fifth, but not least here, would be, if my brain actually works, Magical Drop 3. Again, don't say about Magical Drop 3. It's in the top 30 for a reason. It's a great game to play. So, and of course, next week we'll release 3 to 5 additional titles on top of these titles too, right? But we're going to keep doing small batches. We need a lot of feedback, right? So online at iiRcade.com is actually where that feedback can go to. We, of course, know, again, this is alpha. Things are rough right now. We know. We wanted to get this out to you as quickly as possible so that you can play along too with us, right? It's going to be a good built community together, which is awesome. We have plenty of planned features. Of course, I want better things to connect you with your actual buddies, your friends, as well as, maybe other matchmaking tools included in that. So with that, bugs, let's talk about bugs. So there is actually, we know that there's snuck in a weird infinite load bug when you join a game sometimes. So sometimes it occurs 0% on some machines, others it occurs more often. It seems to be connection related. I don't really know yet, but anyway, regardless of that, I'm looking into that myself. If you do hit that infinite load, if it takes basically longer than like 10 seconds to join a match and you just see a little loading icon at the bottom right, you're going to have to power cycle for now too. It's a little bit of a rough bug. So that's one. On top of that, you saw sometimes the player name shows as on the host side as yourself twice. Another small bug there too. That one's just visual, so no worries on that one too. Otherwise, you're pretty golden, honestly, too. Audio can be a little bit chippy at times, too. We're working on audio, especially right now, along with, of course, releasing these other titles. Every game reacts different, right? There's a lot of different things that we got to look into right now. But, of course, we're always doing that, so we're going to keep moving forward with it. And, again, look for another update probably in about 2 weeks to relieve some of those issues, on top of definitely adding room locking is number one coming in that one, too, so that you can room lock so that just in case you're not sitting there for a while, or just in case you are sitting there for a while and you want your buddy to join, we'll password protect those rooms with the joystick combination that you make, essentially, is probably how we're doing that, which is great. That's coming soon. On top of right now, again, you have to go to settings, enable online games is actually how you enable these games for online that are available on the store. Currently, that's how you do it. That's going to change very soon in the near future as well, too, where once you download a game or it's on your machine, it will automatically pick it up that it's online, too. Just couldn't quite fit it in time for this release to get it to you there, but not a big deal, honestly. So keep in mind, it's only these 5 games for this week until next Friday. It's going to be just these 5 games currently for online, so you don't have to keep checking the store or anything for online-enabled games, too. Will there be a section in the store for online filtering? Probably. That's not there right now, too, but of course, that's something that would make sense to add. Why wouldn't we add that? So, yeah, things coming very soon, just not quite there yet. Again, alpha. This is an alpha release, not a beta. It's not a beta even. It's an alpha release. So we're going to keep improving on this over the year continuously, too. It's not going to get left in the dust or anything. But yeah, any feedback, again, feedback or features you may want, send them over to online@iiRcade.com. Don't ask questions there, honestly. I'm going to be looking through that kind of stuff with my teams. However, we're not going to be generally responding through that email. So if you do have an actual question, contact at iiRcade.com. They're not going to tell you about features that don't exist, though, by the way. So just as a heads up on that. However, if you do have feedback for online play that you're looking, maybe you're looking for different features and stuff that we don't have yet. Of course, again, this is in a very base state right now. We're adding plenty of things to this. Don't worry on that. But yes, online at iiRcade.com for those suggestions, just so a little bit easier than filtering through the community group, because I'm not going to keep ciphering it nonstop throughout the day, of course, right? All right, let's go. Questions on online play. Let's get to it. About 45 minutes in now. Take a few questions. But I think for the most part, you got the idea, right? Let's see. Double Dragon is not available for online currently. Nope. Maybe soon. Maybe soon. There are other games working for online. We're just releasing these in small batches so that we can control and see all the data, right? So it's just a lot simpler. We want good bones before we just open the floodgates entirely, right? And of course, there's other base level features that we'd like to add very, very, very soon. Let me see here. All right, I see the online smack, right? Smack talk is happening already for online play, which is great. That's what I like to see. Keep in mind, too, when you create a room, it's going to display your nickname, so make sure your nickname's set, right? So yes, so if you're looking to hop online with your buddies and stuff, make sure that they know your nickname if they don't already. They usually do. However, if they don't, that's how you do it. If you're trying to connect to other players that you just met, too, for the first time, give them your nickname. Your nickname is what's going to show up there for the room labeling, for everything for online play, too, for the icons underneath, as well as your leaderboards, right? Virtual Dello, when would you recommend server over P2P? Kind of always, honestly. It really depends on your connection. If you have a bad connection, it's kind of rough either way, but it might help if you go P2P if you're running on a slower connection. And again, there's a network test in the settings. In settings, there's network test. If you do run that, you can tell like how bad your latency is as well too. So if you do have low latency, peer-to-peer is probably a better option than the server because you're trying to relay a lot more data that way. However, both do function pretty much identically as is, as long as your connection's decently stable. Let's see. I mean, Kong's RS, yes, you can go head-to-head versus Prentice. We got global leaderboards in that game, as always, so global leaderboards are still there if you're looking to play Dragon's Lair. That's how you compete in that game. So I actually just answered this question for server versus peer-to-peer. Yes, P-Dubs, Arcade Loft. Here we go. So games that are online enabled on the store already too that aren't through ours, they're listed the same way. So just as you would see the arcade games, those other base games are going to run, or they're going to have that listing, right? So like Bomb Squad is online, as well as like Bash Bowling is online. Those are online enabled games. That's there as well too, of course, because they have online play. Caveat to that too, bug that I've noticed for the Android games, do make sure that you go to local for those games. So like Bash Bowling or Bomb Squad, if you're trying to play online too, that's built into the game too. Small bug that kind of slipped past us there. Don't select online play, just go to the local game because it has online play already built in. It's a different system. We'll deactivate that very soon for those games too, so it's out of the way entirely. But just as a small caveat to that for the alpha release, yeah, so Bomb Squad and Bowling, make sure, go to local play, don't go to online play. You'll just hit an infinite load. It's not a huge deal. You can back out of it, but just so you know. All right. Peer-to-peer is better for fighting games. Not always the case, actually. So again, peer-to-peer versus server is really just based on your connection. It's, again, on our system, especially the way that we're doing our software, there really is virtually no noticeable difference typically, unless you're on a harsh connection that's kind of bad, that you'll notice between server versus peer-to-peer. Peer-to-peer will be better in the event that you have a less stable connection. However, server and peer-to-peer will perform pretty much identically to a T on our system right now too, as long as you have a good stable connection. All right. Any other questions I can answer? I'll probably take 2 more questions and we'll call it a day too. We've been going almost an hour now too. I feel like you guys are just ready to jump online too. They're all online to play, so go for it. I've enabled all 5 of those games. Again, those games are going to be, 1, they're in the attract mode if you just watch the new attract mode. But 2, it's going to be Windjammers, Stadium Heroes 96 for baseball, Magical Drop 3 if you're looking into puzzlers, intense puzzlers, honestly. On top of that, you've also got Dragon Master, one of the packing games that comes with every single cabinet. So in case you're missing any of those other 4 titles, we did give you one for, it's already there. Everybody's got it. As well as Outzone, which is hyper competitive on leaderboards, honestly, but 2-player online, working great. Love it. Super fun game to go with a buddy on. All right. Any other pressing questions I can answer before we head out for the day? We good? Good to go? Everybody happy? I'm excited. I hope you're all excited. Again, do keep in mind, this is alpha. This is a very base level of our product software that we're looking at here. So it's going to change. There's going to be a lot of major changes to this too. What you're seeing is a very base state. Again, we want to make sure connections are stable. We need more data to make sure that these servers and peer-to-peer are both running properly, because we got a lot of different types of games to enable for you here, right? Too, and that doesn't mean the genres of games, mind you. Genres of games sort of vary, but not really, honestly. If you get a fighter versus a shooter versus beat 'em up, they kind of all work the same. It's really a game dependent thing that we're looking at here. So again, that's why other services might have online for select titles. And whether you know it or not, they're probably on the back end side of things, they're probably kind of working the same way. That's why they picked those exact arcade games versus what we're doing with every single arcade game that we have on the system. So it's going to take some time to roll out, but we're getting it there. We'll get it there 100%. Appreciate the feedback, of course. Online at iiRcade.com. Remember that. That's where you send your real feedback for suggestions, essentially. Brooklyn Manage, yes. Wow. No Quarter and King Creole will be online tonight playing some of these games too. So yeah, tune into their show. It's at 7:30 p.m. CST, right? 8:30, 7:30 p.m. CST. Wow, my brain's all over the place today too. It's on the channel right now too. But yes, they'll be online tonight playing these games online. So jump in with them. We'll see how they're hosting the show tonight. So they probably have some special things hosting for online. I think Todd Russell's actually joining them tonight, which is awesome, as he owns a lot of the leaderboards. All right, let's go with one more pressing question. Let's see. All right. I think that's pretty much it actually for online, which is great. Howard Cunningham. Okay, how do you create a room name? You don't. Your nickname is your room name, and if a nickname exists as null, if you don't have a nickname assigned to your account, it's not showing up in your machine, it's going to show up as your device ID. Is really what it's going to show as. However, get your nickname set now. If it's not showing up on your machine still, change it real quick, change it back. Nickname is getting locked very, 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 very soon, like next couple days. So get it in now. But yes, creating room, your nickname is your handle for iiRcade. So going forward, just keep that in mind. It's on the leaderboards. It's on multiplayer, right, for online. So your nickname is your handle. So that's how we're doing that, which is awesome. So your room is going to just be called you, essentially, right? So people know who created the room. All right. Otherwise, that's it for me today, too. Pushing almost an hour now. Online play 9.009.000 is the firmware that you need to be on. Again, in the settings, enable online games. Hit that real quick too. That will enable your online games for now. We'll fix that in the future just to make it quite in time for launch for you guys. However, that's how you enable them right now. Again, there's no secret launches for online or anything coming up. So until next Friday, these 5 games are the ones that you'll be playing. Again, we picked some bangers for you. These are great games, deserve to be played online too. Test them out, have some fun with people. Meet some people. I hope you all do too. There's different Discord channels. Hop on them with people right now. We don't have an official Discord for iiRcade. Due to the fact that I don't have time to moderate things at the moment, honestly. So we'll get one up maybe soon. But for now, yeah, jump in your buddy's Discord, get online with people, have some fun, just play together, right? Otherwise, I will play you out actually with the attract mode, right? Keep in mind too, until May 8th, 11:59 p.m. Sunday, May 8th, CST, Chicago time here, right? Central time. Until then, you have the discount for $200 off for $7.99 for these beautiful cabinets behind me here for all gold editions. Yes, Space Invaders does come with Space Invaders, and yes, Dead Cells does come with Dead Cells. So keep that in mind as well too for your purchase options. Everything else, yeah, we've talked about, which is great too. But yes, that sale ends on May 8th, so get them while they're hot, which is great too. Manufacturing, it's going on right now. Otherwise, hope to see you all next week. I will be here, which is great. I'll be 2 weeks in a row. I don't have another expo or anything going on next week, so I'll actually be here in town, which is fantastic. And I hope maybe some of you guys are going to the Midwest Gaming Classic coming up very shortly as well. That's just above us in Milwaukee. We won't be there as a company, unfortunately, this year. However, I hope that you guys all connect, other iiRcade people. It's awesome. All right. So going through more questions. Awesome. Again, take this opportunity, online play for these kind of systems with our ecosystem, especially. I keep pointing to my machine over here, this machine behind me. Keep in mind for online play for these, as we keep enabling more and more games too, rooms might get a little sparse, so do meet some people online. Use the community groups, iiRcade community on Facebook. Fantastic, everybody in there. Keep it civil, so I don't have to tell you to. However, meet some people, right? You're waiting on a room for a game like Windjammers or something. Tell people, let them know, like, hey, I'm hopping on right now too. Like, does anybody want to jump in? Cool, things like that. So you're not looking at a giant, massive, hundreds of millions of players base quite yet, right? So keep that in mind. So use this to jump online with your friends. Cool. Otherwise, I will talk to you all next week. Have some fun playing online. I'll be online this weekend as well too. So in case you see Lite, L-I-T-E, in the game menus, in the rooms and things like that, that's me. So there you go. And of course, we'll continue to improve these features for you. We look for feedback on online at iiRcade.com, suggestions, comments, concerns. However, again, I'm not really going to be answering questions there, so send your questions other places. We're just looking for user feedback or particular issues we might see a lot too. Feel free to send them there. Yeah, until next time, have fun. Thanks for tuning in.
Here we go. Fight passion.
And it's back to home.